How's it going? So we have a parent component. Inside of this parent component there is a child, which is this one. And then when we re-render the parent, normally you have child re-renders as well, but because it's wrapped in memo, you see only parent re-renders. So I'm going to show you how to do this. There is basically two syntaxes you can use. So let's start from the... Well, I'll show you like super quick code. So that's going to be a child. Put anything into it, like very basic component. We export, import in here. You probably want to call it parent, but whatever, I called it blah. So we have count increase, which is just with a button. When we click the button, child should be rendering, but it's not, because we did, you see, child memo, React.memo, pass it as a function, and then re-render. And then put the child into it, and then that's it. It's not going to re-render anymore. Now, the only time when it's actually going to re-render, if the property inside the child changes. So if you pass some kind of property, let's say, I don't know, name, whatever, foo, okay? If this property changes, then component re-renders. So this way you kind of stopping the unnecessary re-renders and you're saving memory. Normally, it's not a big deal, but I mean, if your application is huge and there's some kind of table with 70,000 entries, you want to make sure that it doesn't re-render every time the parent component runs, right? Okay, doc, so let's start from the beginning, probably. Let me just... Well, I'm gonna save this, I'm gonna push it. Good. And then I'll start from the beginning. So let's completely... Okay, I'm gonna remove this stuff. And I'm gonna remove this stuff here. Screw it, I'll just do completely from the beginning. Like literally from scratch. Okay. And then we're just gonna delete child. That's it. Okay. So here is our component. I'm gonna type parent component. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see the code. Okay, cool. Is it recording? Yeah, okay, cool. So this is our parent component. As you can see, it just console, it doesn't console log anything. Okay, so let's create a re-rendering state. So let's say state count set count, oopsie, count equals React use state. Let's start with 0, and let's say, okay, let's do a console log. Parent re-rendered. Let's put maybe this thing in here so we can see separator. Okay. So let's do h2. Okay. So current count. Like this, make it nice looking. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we have a... We probably want to do it this way. So this is our parent component. Right now we need to increase the count somehow, so we're gonna put standard button increase on click. We're gonna do set count to count plus 1. So now we're gonna have a button. As you can see, we're clicking and it's going to increase, and the component is going to re-render. Alright, so now we do very fundamentally, very basic syntax, which is gonna be const child. I'm not gonna do TypeScript. Okay. Return h1. Honestly, we can probably do arrow function, but I'm not gonna confuse you. Okay, child component. Let's put a href tag in here, horizontal line, my apologies, and then we want to console log child re-rendered, and then let's put some kind of a line, something like this in here. Okay, so this is our child, and we're gonna put it in here. Alright. So now we can see our child component is in here. There's the child component. This is the parent component. So let's just refresh. Okay, so you see we're increasing the count, and parent and child re-renders. This is a single re-render. I just remove a bit so you don't get confused, because it looks like there's two re-renders, but there's only one. So to avoid confusion, Okay. So we can see. Wait, why is it doing twice? Yeah, because I removed strict, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. It just happens sometimes. Okay. Cool. So now we click, and it re-renders. Click, it re-renders. Okay. So let's say we have a use case where child component has some kind of heavy code, like multiple calculations, and we don't want to run them every single time parent runs, right? So the easiest way to do it is like this: React.memo, just wrap the component inside the memo, and that's it. You're done. That's pretty much it. Okay, so now as you can see, we're going to remove this. So child re-renders at start, then we click on the parent, only parent re-renders, you see? Unless child properties change, there will be no re-render. Okay, so now, let's say you want to create a imported. Well, let's do imported variant, right? So it's very simple. We pass child in here. Import React from React. There you go. And then we need to export it. Export default child like this. So now we need to import it. So import child from child like this. Oops. So now it's identical, right? Right. Okay, it's complaining that we don't have... Oh, because I forgot to save. My apologies. Alright. So now again, it's the same shizzle. Only parent is going to re-render. And this is because child component is wrapped around memo. Now, there could be a use case where you want this component to re-render sometimes and sometimes not. So you see right now we removed memo, and you can see that is going to, child is going to re-render. Whoopsie, I think we forgot to save. You see, child is being re-rendered as well. So okay, so let's say, how do we stop it from a parent component in here? So the easiest way to do it would be const child memo like this, and then we wrap React memo, and then we want to return child component in here, and then we put child in here, and then that's about it. It's done. So you see only parents now rendering. Okay, that's pretty much it. Like, the reason why I want to sometimes do it from the parent is because this child component could be not your component. It could be coming from some kind of a framework. and it's re-rendering when parent is rendering, and you're like, hey, we need to stop that. And that's how you do it, okay? Take care, bye-bye. Oh, I'm gonna link this in the description below, this one. So everything is in here, including the video, and here you can get all the docs, all the syntax. There's no need for me to do GitHub, because honestly, I mean, code isn't here. There is really, it's not like anything heavy, you know? Okay? Take care, bye-bye.